Can you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh my God. I had the craziest day in court. Yo, it was, oh my God. That was definitely,
An experience?
yeah. The thing is, I've been in court before. It's just like representing yourself being in court. That's like a whole nother like ball game. But that's
Yes,
like
it is.
crazy though. Like, yo, oh my God. Okay, so it starts.
You used that whole discussion we had yesterday. You listened to that all night, didn't you?
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, literally, I wrote that conversation out probably like 3, 4 times over, right? I had my notebook with me of the conversation we had, plus, you know what I'm saying, the notes with the videos with you and Papa, as well as you with the other pastor and stuff. So I had all that stuff written down on plus, you know what I'm saying, on top of whatever else I knew. So I was like going in there like ready. I was like, you know what? I'm tired of these people taking advantage of us. I'm ready. Boom. Whatever, right? So I go into court today, and then I walk in, I sit down there like, all right, point of order, judge walks in, all right, whatever, boom, fast forward. He calls my name up with the officer. So I walk up to the stand. I'm like, hey, I'm the representative for this estate. He's like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, so then I go on to say, I was like, yeah, is there a claimant? Blah, 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 blah. And then I'm not going to lie, he's not hearing none of that shit at all. He's not hearing none of that. He's like, all right, whatever. What's your plea? And I'm like, Your Honor, you didn't give me a chance to express myself to be able to, articulate the points I'm trying to articulate. Can I articulate myself? And he's like, yeah, of course, go ahead. He's like, but what's your plea? So I try to, go on about the same thing, and like I said, he's just not hearing it at that point. So I'm like, I try to go on with, what I'm saying, is there a claimant? When can I meet the claimant, etc. And pretty much like, if you keep doing that, I'm gonna hold you in contempt of court. And I was like, well, Your Honor, I was like, you're not giving me a chance to really, for me as the authorized representative to, represent the estate here, and because I even had my social security card and I pulled it out as well too on top of when I was at the stand and I pulled it up to show him. I was like, this is the estate that I'm representing for. And like I said, yeah, he wasn't having any of that. So I go on to keep saying the same things because he's like, well, you can respond to the police officer, but he's like, from there, then you can enter a plea. I was like, well, sir, he's just an agent for the state. The state isn't, you know what I'm saying, is not the claimant. I'm trying to see the claimant of whoever here is trying to put that verifiable claim upon me so I can seek the remedy for that. And from there, he was like, no. He's like, you know what? Contempt of court. Wow. He hit his hammer down and then put me in cuffs. I was like, God damn. So I'm there still trying to, exert myself and like, is there anybody here with a claim? So whatever. And they take me out to court. And they're like, they think that I'm trying to be apprehensible. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna do anything, bro. Like, come on, bro, I'm not stupid. I was like, and I was talking to the officer that was apprehending me at the current moment, and I was like, look, I was like, you, especially because it was especially the officer that stopped me and did this whole ordeal. I was like, yeah, you especially, I'm definitely going for your surety. He's like, oh, well, it's right here on the camera, buddy. I was like, I don't care. This is my First Amendment right. I'm just talking like how I want to talk, anyways, because you didn't even read me my Miranda rights the first time. But I digress. Whatever. It doesn't even matter. So then they brought me to the back of the court because I guess they didn't have any police cruisers or whatever the case may have been. Because he was like, oh, because I was like, at that point I was pissed off because I was like, you didn't even give me a chance to exert myself with all the notes that I had because I had like pages full of notes that I was ready. But they didn't let me, exert myself. So at that point, they went and took me to the back. And I was like, bro, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not, I'm not going to do anything belligerent or anything that's going to, resist arrest or none of those standards. Like, I'm just going to, y'all done got me up here to this point. I'm just going to follow what you say. It's going to make it worse. It's no point. So when they got me to the back, I was talking to another officer and he was trying to hand me some papers. And at that point, like I said, I was pissed off. I really wasn't trying to hear that shit. He was trying to hand me some papers. He's like, listen, I'm trying to talk to you. And then we get to talking a little bit, and he actually kind of understands what I'm saying without the points that I was trying to extrapolate upon. And she's like, yeah, I understand what you're trying to do, but you weren't, exerting yourself. You weren't thinking correctly because you were trying to hurry up and exert yourself before you even had a chance to just deny even talking to the officer, and then bring it upon your testimony. I was okay. I can see that. And then, we get to talking a little bit, more and more and more just about, laws and statutes, codes, Constitution, Articles of Confederation, etc. And then upon that, then I get to the point that I bring up, I'm like, yeah, it's brought by Freemasons, blah, 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 all this. He's like, yeah, I know, I am one. I said, oh, shit. I said, God damn. He showed me his tattoo because he had a tattoos on him as well, too. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, yeah, because it was just me and him in the back room at the current time. And then they were presumed were court in the main courthouse. I was like, I ain't gonna lie. If you gonna do something with me, you gonna kill me, whatever, go ahead and do it. I ain't gonna lie. Like at this point, I don't even care. Like whatever. He's like, nah, you didn't do anything wrong. He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna, care or anything like that, nothing like that. He's like, no, I'm just trying to help you out, So he actually was getting to a point to where I was kind of helping because it's kind of ironic because with me and my TikTok, one of my main points on my own personal TikTok is I try to like expose them and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So I find it kind of ironic that he was trying to help me in that sense, especially considering when he heard that I was a prior military veteran. So you're a veteran? Oh, okay. So then they kind of like treated me a little bit more differently since then. And I was like, y'all kind of dickheads for that, but or whatever. All right. So we could just get to talking a little bit more and more and more in terms of the intelligent conversation on those principles and standards of, travel versus driving, commerce, and et cetera, whatever. So we're talking probably about around like 30 minutes or so waiting. And I thought I was going to go to jail at the point, but he was like, nah, I'm going to talk to the judge and I'm going to get you back in front of the judge. But look, I want you to understand that I want you to get back in front of the judge because, I understand where you're coming from and I understand the points you're trying to extrapolate, but you just need to be able to, bring upon it better because whenever you were trying to extrapolate what you were saying, whenever he said, do you have anything for the police officer or the policy enforcer, whatever, that, you were directing around him and you were trying to go straight to the judge. But I was like, well, sir, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, he's just an agent for the state. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not representing the state. And I was trying to, represent the claimant and, all the things that we talked about, etc. He was like, well, yeah, I understand that. But, at the same time, you got to understand that these people in these courthouses, they're not going to understand necessarily where you're coming from that sense because, they're already going to label you sovereign citizens. So I was like, from there, I was like, yeah, nope, I don't know what that is. Like, yeah, that you can't even be a sovereign citizen because, the only person in this establishment that would even be considered as upon as such would be the judge himself because he's, a sovereign of the court and then a citizen of the state. And he was like, yeah, I understand, but so, you got to be able to articulate yourself and not, do anything that's going to, put yourself in a bad sense, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, so we were just having a conversation. I was like, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to the judge and be able to try to get you back in front of him. So I'm trying to get you prepared to that, for right now. I understand that, I was like, but I have because I even remember we talked about that affidavit that I brought as well. I was like, yes, sir. I was like, I have that affidavit that I've stated many of case laws in Supreme Court cases that even supersedes what you're trying to say right now. And I understand because you were trying to tell me about the district courts and different districts and things of that nature. And when I was like, I understand you to a degree, but I was like, if that courts have already decided upon it, that supersedes any other jurisdiction that they try to put and push upon you, right? So, he was like, all right, I get it, but, I'm trying to get you back in front of the judge and, just make sure, you're a little cool, calm, collected and try to do what you need to do. I'm all right, whatever. So, he talks to him and he tells him about, I'm a veteran, blah, blah, blah. And it's not until that point where they tell them that they really kind of little bit hear more of what I'm trying to say at that point. Because I guess I gave them credibility or whatever, in the sense, it's fucking stupid, whatever. So,
Yeah.
And even I even overheard there was another young lady in there right before that I got back up on the stand that was pretty much saying everything the same thing as I was saying. Her folder, I kid you not, was at least like 4 inches thick long. She had plenty of papers, stacks, documents, etc. And she was saying, and I overheard her. She was like, "Yeah, does this court have any interest in terms of a profitable game, blah, 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 blah." And yeah, he wouldn't hear none of that shit. He was just dismissing it all. He wasn't taking any insurance for any claim, nothing. He was like, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to dismiss you from the court and I'm going to go ahead and just give you just fine, blah, blah, blah. And he hurried up and got her out of court and just kicked her out, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, he hurry up got her out because why? She's exposing the system in front of everybody.
Exactly. Yeah, and I even overheard it, and I was taking notes. I was like, yeah, because he was even trying to tell me, what I'm saying, as a Freemason, he was like, yeah, that straw man argument I'm like, what do you mean argument? I'm like, bro, like I have a whole 48-page affidavit I typed myself of all the code statutes, previous cases that's been ruled upon already. And I was like, sir, those Supreme Court cases that have those supersede whatever district court that you're on, so it doesn't even matter. He was like, well, yeah, I understand that, but you have to understand as well that most of these cases and these judges not going to really get that because blah 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 blah. And I mean, to a degree, I mean, I get what he was saying. I was like, to a degree, I also understand too that like you're a Mason, and like if you're a Mason and you're the police officer that's damn near right with the judge, and you got that close relationship, he's probably a Mason too. So they're not hearing none of that shit. They just want to do all this shit in equity and be able to get their double back in the sense of that equity in that financial gain. So I'm like, you know what? From that point, then I already knew it was low key a losing battle because it's like they're all on the same side. Because this is a small little country town of where pretty much where I was fighting upon what they were trying to do. So I was like, you know what? All right, whatever. So I ended up getting back in front of the judge. You know what I'm saying? I was, a lot more, cool, calm, collected around that point, And he was like, I want you to go ahead, you know what I'm saying? He was giving game, I'm not going to lie, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to, down in front of him or whatever. He's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just talk to me. You trying to give me pointers and whatnot too. So then I got back in front of the judge and then he was like, yes. He was like, so let me ask you again. He was like, all right, I'm going to ask you, what do you plead? And I was like, at that point, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to recite what we were saying in terms of the preacher's the prayer of Matthew 6, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, Your Honor, I was like, do you mind if I recite this prayer in terms of my plea? Because before I even got handcuffed, I asked him, I was like, sir, do you believe in Justia? And he didn't answer any of that. You know what I'm saying? They just went ahead and kicked me out, and they tried to label me as a sovereign citizen. I was even talking with the Mason previously behind closed doors, and I was like, that's an oxymoron by itself. But I was like, you know what I'm saying? That's not even the real thing. He's like, exactly. I was like, yes. I was like, what? We both on the same point. Why are you trying to disillusion me in the points that in standpoints that I'm trying to stay under? And you were trying to pretty much like coerce me out of the standpoint that I was already on of driving versus traveling. Which I mean, like, yeah, I agree to an extent, but I was like, it's all fucking up to interpretation anyway, because it's all fucking ambiguous. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? As long as I argue my points the way I argue them, especially with my affidavit, then I'm good. So when I got back in front of the judge, I'm like, I was like, yes, sir. I was like, do you mind if I extrapolate upon my affidavit here? He was like, because he just got done with that other lady that was just pretty much snacking him on the same topics and stuff that I was talking about. I was low-key kind of hearing from the back, and I was like, damn, I ain't gonna lie, she snapped. She doing a pretty good job. I ain't gonna lie. But like I said, they went ahead quickly and kicked her out the court. So then from that point and standpoint, I was like, you know what? All right, whatever. I tried to extrapolate upon the same points, and then he was just like, you know what? I'm not going to hear affidavit. The only thing I'll hear from this point forward is your testimony towards the officer. And I'm like, all right, just told you before I got in contempt of court that, you know what I'm saying, he's just an agent for the state. I didn't ask for a claimant already of who is the claimant and where they are. And because right before I got arrested as well, asking for surety, and like I said, they just went ahead and keep me out. So I was like, from there, I already knew that he wasn't going to hear that shit because they just went ahead and tried to hurry up and kick it out and then get their funds from however they deem necessary. So, you know what? All right, whatever. So from there, he's like, okay, so what do you claim? He's like, what is your plea? I was like, well, sir, do you mind if I recite, a prayer instead, because I'm about to recite a prayer. He's like, no. He's like, I don't accept that. I don't accept that at all. I'm like, what?
No, you should have just, what you should have done instead of when he said, how do you plead? You shouldn't have asked him. You should have just did it.
I was thinking that, but like by that point, you know what I'm saying? All that crazy shit just happened, bro. Like my brain was just so like fried, low key. I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know, bro. Like, at that point, I was honestly winging it. I ain't gonna lie. Like, because they took all my documents, everything. But they took my social, they took my documents, they took because like I said, I had like 3 books on me, right? You know what I'm saying? The things I wrote down and everything. They took all that shit. They took all they took my affidavit, all that shit. All that shit was out my hands at that point. And I was at the thing, I was like, sir, before I even got to testify, I was like, sir, can I get my documents back? He was like, oh, well, where's it at? I was like, man, see, man, come on. And the thing is, you know what the fucked up part was? They didn't even hear me out for real until they heard that I was a veteran. Then they wanted to be like low-key kind of on my dick. They was like, oh, oh, okay, so how many years did you serve? I'm like, man, fuck y'all. Because now y'all going from a point for like, now you're trying to go from like a pity standpoint. And now I'll be like, oh, well, he serves, so let me try to hear him what he says. Now I'm like, man, like, y'all some hoes, low key. Like, for real. Like, all right. But anyway, I digress. So from that standpoint, I was going back and forth when I was like, well, then I'm like, well, I guess I got to talk to fucking dumbass fucking police enforcement here, policy enforcer that don't know shit any damn way. He's like, well, yeah, Barnes State, because I'm in South Carolina currently right now, if anybody doesn't know. He's like, yeah, well, in the state of South Carolina, well, you have to do blah, 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 and I don't have to tell you this, and blah, blah. So I was asking him very valid questions. I was like, well, sir, is there a stop and identify statute in the state of South Carolina? He was like, oh, well, I don't have to provide that information because due to this one. And then he went and then gave him documents, right, on the statues or whatever he was trying to claim. I was looking at him like, what? You just told me I can't provide my truth affidavit. That's 48 fucking pages that I went and got state Supreme Court cases upon what I'm trying to pretty much, I guess, argue in this sense. At this point, now it's argument, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, now you're not going to accept my shit, but you accept his 2-3 little fucking dogs. I'm like, man, really, bro? Really? I'm like, all right, bro. At that point, I definitely knew it was a losing battle. I definitely knew it was a losing battle. And then he was like, well, what do you plead? I was like, bro, I just sat there for like 3 seconds, 3-4 seconds. I was like, bro, what the fuck, bro? And I was gonna do the prayer, but I was like, man, like it's like at this point, and all the shit I tried to do, because I tried to do the claimant. I tried to ask him who the claimant was. When can I meet the claimant? They didn't
I
hear none of that
warned
shit.
you. I warned you.
No, you did. Like I said, I'm not mad at all. You know what I'm saying? I embraced it because it's experience. So now for the next time, whenever I do go wax they stupid asses, then I at least know kind of what to expect on that end, from that front.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, he's like, well, what do you plead? I'm just sitting there thinking for a minute. I'm like, man, like he just like denied my prayer. I just tried to ask him to claim it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, fuck.
If you ask him in his temple, his court, yeah, he's going to deny you.
Right. That's facts. That's facts. I feel you. And then on top of that, he had his fucking Freemason friend over here, like pretty much kind of like low-key kind of backing him up. But like, not in the sense of like, back him up in the sense of he's trying to like overall fuck me, because he still kind of like had my interest at heart. But he was just like, like he was just kind of like trying to get the shit moved along, kind of more quickly with haste type shit. So I was just like, I was like, man, I don't claim anything, Your Honor, because I was trying to tell him, I'm just authorized representative. I can't claim anything because I'm not him. And he's like, oh, it's sovereign citizen. I'm like, bro, that's not. Oh my god, bro.
My buddy Anwar, when my buddy Anwar was asked one time, "Are you a sovereign citizen?" He looked at the judge. He said, "Would you please define that? Because based on my knowledge, the only sovereign citizen in this room is you, Your Honor.
Yes,
you're the
I was
sovereign
waiting
of the
to do
court.
that.
Yeah, and you're the citizen of the state."
Bro,
but that's the thing. You have to, when you go in there, you can't be really, the only time you should ask them a question is when they order you. And you turn their order into an invitation by asking them, do you mind if I do this, right? Blah, blah, blah.
Right. Absolutely. And then from there, I tried to do that. So anything he asked to pound me, I turned it into that. I was like, well, sir, do you mind if I? And then, like I said, from that point, he was like, nope.
Because he knew what you was doing. He knew what you was doing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. Yeah, I definitely don't doubt that 100%. Especially like you said, because upon our conversation expounded upon, he was like, they do this shit literally every fucking day. So they're like damn near masters at fucking the language manipulation of switching between legalese and English and Oxford Dictionary, whatever the fuck you want to say. You know what I'm saying? Back and forth all day, every day, because this is what they do for a fucking living. So it's like, of course they're going to be a way better ahead in that sense than you will be. So I'm like, and that's another kind of reason, like, I wasn't looking at it from a standpoint of like, damn, like, fuck, this uphill battle. But I was just like, from where I was at the standpoint, I was like, bro, just try to, you know what I'm saying? Because I honestly didn't really care about going back to jail. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I'm not like, a malice, crazy, person. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it comes to that point, like, all right, whatever, I'm expounding upon my rights. And then whatever I know of whatever I can expound upon, okay, I'm going to try to exert that. But if not, then I'm just gonna shut the fuck up and then whatever the fuck. But if they don't read my Miranda rights, whatever the fuck, then I'm just gonna, talk my shit. It's my First Amendment right. I'm talking my shit, of course. What the hell? So, whatever, right? So at that point, later on in the court hearing, when it gets to that point, she said, "So what do you plead?" I just didn't say anything. I was like, "You know what, sir, honestly," I said, "Sir, I'm not him. Like, I don't plead anything. She said, "Well, I'll plead for you, guilty." Excuse me. He said, "Not guilty," and he let the officer expound upon whatever his statement was. I guess his affidavit, his testimony, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So then from there, then I started asking him questions. I was like, "Well, sir, is there a stop and identify statute?" He said, "Well, I don't have to provide that." I was like, "Well, sir, did you not, pretty much assault me and get me out of my vehicle and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?" He's like, "No, well, blah, blah. You didn't provide, give me an ID, and per this statute, I don't have to do it." Like I said, he gave that shit to the fucking judge. I was like, "Bro, you just told me I can't give you nothing, but you were going to accept his documents?" I'm like, "Man, fuck you, bro." I'm like, "You's a hoe, bro." But I couldn't, I couldn't say it out loud. I was thinking, like, bro, like, oh my, come on, bro. So he's at that point, he's like, "You know what? Well, I guess I'll find you." He's like, "I'll find you guilty." Blah, blah, blah. He's like, "Well," I was like, at that point, I was like over with it because I was like, obviously, I can't get shit past this motherfucker. I was like, "You know what?" I was like, "Oh," because I was asking questions, and I was like, "Well, sir, Your Honor, do you mind if, because after this, I can appeal whatever ruling that you expound upon, correct?" He was like, "Well, yes, you can if that's what you choose so to do. You have 10 business days, blah, 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 blah." I was like, "Oh, whatever." So I was like, because at this point, it just seemed like a fucking uphill losing battle any damn ways because at this point, I can't say what the fuck I want to say. I can't expound upon my fucking 48-page self-typed affidavit that I went and got all these case laws and read my fucking self. I can't do any of these things of what I did in terms of trying to speak up for the representative of the estate or whatever, and then they're trying to label me as such as a conversation or all this other dumbass shit, but he won't say that shit out loud because I even asked him before I got fucking handcuffed, would he accept surety for that? And they just kept fucking pushing me along and then trying to get me the fuck up out of there. So I was like, there is no way that, from my standpoint at that sense, saying that I was so fucking over and I was pissed off that it was going to let me get any type of leeway in. So I was like, all right, whatever. I will just appeal it, Your Honor, whatever. He's like, "Okay, well, do you have it today?" And I tried to even give it because I had the last ditch effort of what we talked about. I had a bag and I drew a dollar sign on it, and I went and bought some grains of rice and I poured that shit up to the brim. Okay, right? And I was like, "Well, sir," I was like, "What do you mean by dollars?" He was like, $200 for failure to for speeding, whatever. I was like, "Well, Your Honor, what do you mean by dollars?" And he just kept like fumbling along. I was like, "Well, sir, will you accept these dollars?" And I pulled that shit out of my wallet, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I had a shoulder bag on me, right? And I pulled it out, the wallet out. I was like, "Well, do you accept these dollars?" He was like, "No, I won't." I'm like, "You fucking dickhead." I'm like, "Oh."
I would have reminded him then, and I'd have said, well, Your Honor, if I offer you a legal tender and you deny it, then the debt is discharged."
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely could have said that. Like I said, at that point, bro, I just went through so much crazy shit. I thought I was gonna die. I thought Mason was gonna kill me. He didn't kill me. He ended up helping me. All type of crazy, like, bro, and it's crazy because, like I said, on my TikTok, literally for the most part on my TikTok, I be exposing the fuck out of the Masons. I be on their ass. I've so many of their temples and shit that I've went and posted and went to myself. Like, look at these stupid ass motherfuckers. Fuck these demonic capital, whatever, fuck, right? And I was like, now this motherfucker helping me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, bro?
Yeah, no,
What the fuck?
Masons. Look, all Masons ain't bad.
Yeah, I can agree. I can agree. You know what I'm saying? Especially having that firsthand experience now. But it was just like my mind was so like, oh my god, bro. I was like at like 10 different places at one time. I was like, you know what, bro? Like at this point, this level that I'm at right now, this is no winning fight. I'm just gonna peel this shit. Fuck this shit. I was like, you know what, sir? I was like, Your Honor, I'll just peel this. Whatever. They want me to just dumbass Palin plan. I'll just sign this shit. Whatever. Because even if I go upon this and then I go appeal it, then it will fucking supersede this shit anyway. I was like, whatever. All right. He said, all right, order, blah, 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 and fucking went about, yeah. So, oh my God. That was that crazy ass story. But it was just the simple fact that I was like, bro, I got all this shit that I'm trying to expound upon, and you're not hearing none of it. And then you won't let me submit any of it, but then you'll let your people go submit it on their behalf. But at the same time, then you got your fucking Mason friend over here helping you throughout court and shit. And he's over trying to help me. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on, bro? I'm like, what the fuck, bro? And like from there, you know what I'm saying? I was definitely like, you know, kind of like at disarray. Because I was like, bro, this kind of fucking winning battle. I'm like, these motherfuckers is in the courts.
Yeah, you
I'm
got to
like,
get a better. You got to get a better headspace.
absolutely, I agree. I definitely agree. I definitely, and that's another thing that I definitely, and that me and him was talking about upon too. He was like, "Well, what's this?" I was like, "I got him my affidavit." He said, "No, you need to know this right here." You know, so he was pointing at his brain, his temple. He was like, "You need to know this now, right here, blah blah blah, off just the top." I was
Yeah,
like, "You're right.
you
You're right.
gotta
You're
know
right."
this stuff off the top of the head, and you don't look. You don't ask permission from another man.
Right.
You speak it. That's the bottom line. You shouldn't be asking the judge, "Do you care if I do that?" He's going to tell you no because he's going to want you to fall in a trap.
Right. Right.
You need to. When he said, "How do you plea?" you should have just read the prayer.
Right.
Okay, you asked him way too many questions, which means you gave him authority.
Yeah. Now I hear you. I agree. I agree. I agree. 100%.
Hmm.
That's kind of what the Mason was kind of expounding upon too a little bit. Cause he was like, you know, he was like, yeah, since you know, he's like, I'm not, you know, disregarding or you know, insulting your intelligence at all. Because I can definitely understand that you're a free thinker. You know what I'm saying? We can even come to this point to where we even having this conversation and we can agree to disagree to an extent too as well. We was like, I just need to understand. I just need you to understand that as well. That you need to be able to get on point to where you can just set that shit off the top of the dome, and then at the same time as well, after expounded upon those points, still be able to assert yourself from a legal standpoint to where you're not hurting yourself, you're not getting yourself in behind bars because I don't want to see behind bars. I was
Yeah,
like, what the fuck, bro? I said, stop telling
he
me that. I'll be
he's
exposing y'all every day. Like,
he
what?
yeah he's telling you right. I mean,
Yeah, that's
people
true. That's true.
people let fear or something else get a hold of them, and the Bible clearly says many times that fear is a sin.
Yeah.
Because why? You lack faith.
Yep. No, I feel you 100%.
Hmm.
I didn't, I couldn't really put pretty too much really, you know, privy on their points of what, you know, kind of what they expounded upon, even then with them kind of like low key. And that's really what the part was low key really pissed me off. Cause I'm like, now you're giving me like doggy, puppy, like simpy points. At this point, I was like, oh, well, you know, you can try again. I mean, like, man, fuck y'all, bro. Like, y'all ain't
Yeah,
got,
you
you know,
appealed it. That means that about a month and a half from now, you'll have a trial date. You'll go in front of the judge, and
yeah.
10-1, they're going to hold you to the very end because they don't want you exposing it to the rest of the people, and they'll give you another shot to do the same thing. So you just got to get it. You got to get it practiced in your head. You really do.
Yeah. Right. I agree, 100%. And I even came to that conclusion too. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that because I even right before I even watching it, you know, in the courtroom, I was like, you know, I'm leaving it up to God. You know, it's all up to God's will. Whatever He wants to happen will happen. You know, and I'm not saying that you know He didn't want it to happen because, like I said, obviously, you know, everything is all, you know, manifest destiny. Whatever He wants to happen will happen and shall happen. So I was like, you know, I was going off that belief at the same time. I was like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is this, bro? What the hell? It was so the way it was just going slithering in and out, in and out. I was just like, bro. At the end of it, I was like, all right, bro. Like, all right, I don't know enough. I need to learn more. All right, like, okay, all right. I'm just gonna peel this shit for next time. Whatever next time I go with, I'll just try this shit again because I already know, like, I have to assess. And I even told him too. I was like, I gotta assess these fucking charges before I even get a chance to go back and fucking counter and civil suit on these stupid ass motherfuckers that don't know what the fuck they're doing anyway. He's like, well, yeah, I agree with you. He's like, but if you can't go in there the first time and then fucking expound upon what you're trying to extrapolate, he's like, well, it's not gonna matter anyway. I was like, God damn, this nigga right. I'm like, why? Why is the Mason giving me game right now? What is going on in the world?
The Masons, I mean, he's trying to lead you into seeing things, but
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
he cannot give you the whole thing because why? He understands obligations.
Mm-hmm.
If he
Mm-hmm.
has to teach you everything, you are not ready.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. I agree. Absolutely. And he even told me too. He was like, "Yeah, come back to my office anytime. Like, come talk to me." You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, he was saying, we were talking for a minute too. Before I got back in front of the judge, probably honestly like 30 minutes. And he was like, "Yeah, I've been studying, law and whatnot for 27 years." I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "Bro, if you're gonna go ahead and kill me, bro," because like I said, I was literally low key kind of like talking shit about the Masons and whatnot, literally right before then. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Mason," and he fucking showed his tattoo, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna die." So, bro, if you're gonna kill me, bro, just go ahead and do it, bro. He's like, "Yeah, I'm a Knights Templar as well." Blah 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 blah. I was like, "Oh fuck, bro, fuck." Oh, it's not a winning battle at all. Oh, it's not.
It's not. It is. You're just not quite ready.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I mean, if
100%.
I did mine over the phone with the court clerk and Popeye did his in open court, see, that's
Right.
what he means. You've got to know this stuff. It's got to become so much a part of you that you can speak it just immediately.
Right. No, I agree. I definitely agree. Because if you can't, you won't be able to stand in your own square
That's right.
properly.
And you and going to court sometimes you don't have to. But you was like Latin, you didn't have much choice.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I even, like I said, I even try to, talk to the court clerk prior before, or the county department, whatever, same thing, whatever. And they were like, "Oh, you're one of the sovereign citizens. We're not giving you the IN." I even asked him, even in open court too.
Yeah, they're not gonna give it to you in court.
Yeah,
That's
he's like, "Yeah, I
people
don't need to give
people
that to you."
yeah, people keep contacting the court trying to get it. They're not gonna give it to you. You gotta go um I tell people go find your billing and accounting office in the county. People that
Mm-hmm.
actually do the books. They have it.
Mm-hmm.
And just make it sound like something legitimate,
Yeah.
that they would be familiar with, and say, yeah, I do tax reporting on some documents, and I need to make sure I have um, their W-9 as part of it, and because I need to do tax reporting. So, or you need to do whatever. I mean, I'm issuing a bond to the court, and I need to properly report the taxes on it. And
Right.
a lot of times they'll just give it to you because it sounds like something they're familiar with.
Right. No, 100% agree. But it was like kind of like at that point, especially since they heard that the previous lady expound upon her rights, because she even asked him too. She was like, "Do you guys have a financial interest in this case, in this matter?" He was like, "Well, ma'am, I can't answer that, but blah blah blah." I'm going. I don't want to hear more of this. I'm gonna go ahead and call this. You have to pay this fine, whatever. Bow. Got her the hell up out of there, quick. Bow. Left.
Yeah,
That
because
was when I was back.
she's in there in front of the public exposing everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was like, damn. I was like, damn. I should have got to that point. But I was like, you didn't. Whenever I try to speak on my behalf, I was like, well, Your Honor, do you mind? And I was like, well, yeah, I'm going to ask him questions as well. But I was like, do you mind if I read from my affidavit? Because I have a fucking 48-page affidavit I wrote by myself,
Yeah. No,
extrapolate upon. He's like, yeah, no.
you never ask the judge, "Do you mind if I do this?" No, you're supposed to be a man, not under his authority. If you're asking his permission, you are submitting to his authority.
Right.
Are
Now I
you
got
are
you.
you yeah, are you submitting to another man? If you are, you're a slave.
Yep. Yep. That's true. That's 100% true. Damn.
But guess what? I mean, the fact you went in there and you tried, that's better than most. Most people
Oh,
are afraid
absolutely.
of court. Most people don't want to ever go. You own, practice makes perfect.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, I before I walked in the courtroom, I even had to kind of talk with myself a little bit. I was like, look, because like I said, I've been in jail a couple times, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that shit honestly don't faze me. Like I really don't give a fuck for despite being Air Force, all that other shit. Veteran. I don't give a fuck. I'd rather fight and die for my fucking rights than sit here and submit to these buffoons that don't know what the fuck they're doing for the most part any damn way, and then sit there and let them just wallygag along and just keep doing. No, fuck that. I'd rather you kill me. That's why I even told the mission. I was like, bro, if you're gonna kill me, bro, just go ahead and do this shit now. Like, ain't nobody in the room. Like,
They
go ahead,
don't.
bro.
They don't just do all that.
Yeah. I thought he was, honestly. I was like, because like I said, I was just literally just going speaking so bad about them right before he said that shit. He's like, oh yeah, I am.
One thing you got to work on is all the 4-letter expletives. You got to work on getting that out of your mouth because you're going to say those at the wrong time in front of the wrong people, and they're going to take offense. So you got to learn how to speak. Look. When you talk to that Mason, he was kind and cordial.
Oh no,
not
I was talking to him
excited.
real respectful. Yeah, I didn't curse at him or anything like that. Yeah, nothing along those long.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Even in front of the judge, I didn't speak anything in terms of expletive or what I'm saying, nothing in a derogatory sense. I spoke with him with as much respect as I could because I understand that kind of like with the extent to what you say. You gotta come with him as a human. You know what I'm saying? Human to human. You can't go with them looking sideways and talking sideways because they gonna act sideways. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta kind of talk about that point. But I just felt from that point, whenever I first was trying to speak, he was like, "Oh, hold on." I'm ready. Like what I'm saying. I've been doing this for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. Literally just watching the same stuff, reading the same stuff. Literally, I'm ready now. Like, come on, let's go. And then he got to that point, he wasn't hearing anything else. I was like, bro, what the hell? Like, what you mean? What you mean you don't hear nothing I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to. He's like, you know what? All right, contempt of court. Pow. Got me out of there. I was like, you know what? All right, bro. All right, whatever, bro. Like, they could even tell. I was like, yeah, he's not like a violent person. I can tell. He's not, doing anything that resist arrest. Bro. I was like, yeah, I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. I'm not gonna do anything that's gonna make shit worse. Like, the fuck is this? So yeah, I understand. It was, oh, you were better. I was like, bro, I don't care about none of that shit, bro. That shit's fucking irrelevant as fuck right now. All right, I didn't say that, but I was like, that doesn't matter. I'm trying to, say what I need to say to be able to, fight against my side, against my stake right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? Like, let me do that. If you asking upon that, let me do that. The correct way. And if you're not letting me do that, then I'm feel like my rights are being violated. I'm like, well, at this point, I don't know. And from that point, I feel kind of low key, kind of helpless. I was like, well, you know what? All right, now just try to, like I said, I winged it from that point, and I was like, you know what? All right, fuck it, whatever. And it was even like a full courthouse too. Whenever I was speaking, in front of the all judge, they fucking handcuffed me and shit. I was like, bro, I only seen just me and the judge. I didn't give a fuck about nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Because
I knew when you said they were going to bring it back, they weren't going to have nobody in there. Because why?
Yeah,
they don't want this stuff exposed to the sheep.
Yep, absolutely. Because everybody else went there, and it went in there. Oh, I'm guilty. Oh, I'm guilty. Oh, I don't know. I've been fine. Like, you fucking goofies. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It was so irritating. Hearing it in the back room too, I was like, oh my god. Like the one person that sounded like they was sound of what they was trying to expound upon that sounded like they had legitimate sense. I was like, oh shit, okay, all right. And he got her the fuck out of there pretty damn quick. He didn't let her talk. He didn't let her speak. Nothing. She was talking to him. And like I said, she had a thick packet, like a 4-inch packet, a good size. And she was really, really honestly making really good points from what I was overhearing.
They did the same thing to me on that mud flap ticket.
Oh.
I mean, I had a 3-inch stack of papers, and as soon as I brought up constructive fraud, oh, that's some law done away with 50 years ago, floating around on the internet. $50 fine, you can appeal it within 10 days. I walked right out there and appealed it. When I went to trial, though, I beat it.
Oh, I got you.
I don't freaking ask them to do anything. I just do it.
I got you. And at that point too, I didn't want to be in contempt of fucking again. You know what I'm saying? That's another reason why I didn't do the prayer at that point. Because I was like, man, I don't fucking know. Because like I said, I asked him. He's like, nah. I don't want to be fucking in contempt again. Because he's fucking quote unquote gave me another chance. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't.
I told you they was going to threaten you with contempt when you do it. Then you're going to have to do it 3 times, or you're not going to succeed.
Yeah. Yep. You did absolutely. Absolutely. But hey, got the experience, so that's the main thing I got. But I ain't gonna lie though, you know it's kind of crazy. I did get one of the charges dropped. So hey,
Well,
they
that's
had
a
a fucking.
start.
They had two. They had two charges. They had a failure to identify, with I guess ID or whatever the fuck, and then like a speeding ticket. And he was like, "Well, do you have your ID?" I was like, "Well, it's not me." I was like, "Oh." At that point, that's the second time he brought me out. I was like, "Yeah, I got it." And I was like, "Do I have to give that?" He was like, "No." He's like, "But I mean, it'll help." I was like, "Man, fuck." I was like, "Here, man, bro. I gave it to him. He was like, "Okay, well, you know, I'll just miss that. But the speeding." He was like, "Yeah, I'm fine to get you that." I'm like, "Man, you fucking dickhead, man. Fuck you." All right. And like I said, he was like, "Yeah, do you want?" He's like, "Yeah, do you have that money now?" I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Sir, what do you mean by dollars?" He was like, "Well, $200." I was like, "Well, sir, what do you mean by dollars?" He just didn't extrapolate upon it. So I was like, "Well," and I had that. I went and literally bought a pouch. Today, I went and bought a pouch, put a dollar sign on it and everything, and bought rice and put it in there. And I brought it out my fucking because I got like a little shoulder bag with me. I was like, "Well, sir, I got this money right here." I was like, "Do you want to take this instead? These dollars right here." He was like,
Well, you actually, the proper question should have been not what you said. Should have
"Yeah,
been dollar of what?
yeah, no, I said that, but before me bringing that those that bag I had, I was like, dollar of what?" And he just kept saying, "Well, $200, $200." I was like, "Well, dollar of what, sir?" He was like,
Your
$200.
Honor, I'd have been like, Your Honor, I didn't say how many. I said dollar of what? We've already established how many. I need to establish dollar of what, and bring him right back to the question.
Right. Nah, I see. Yep.
This is for a speeding ticket.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had two of them. You got one drop.
Yeah, it was a speeding ticket and then failure to give ID or comply with the officer, some shit like that. Whatever the fuck. And I even pulled up that statue and tried to like find it whenever I was doing my research prior before the case, and I didn't even fucking find that fucking statue. I was like, bro, it's just not even the fucking because I'm in South Carolina currently, you know what I'm saying, with my peoples right now. Usually I'm from Florida. I didn't even find that shit. I was like, bro, it's not even the fucking. I was like, the fuck. I was like, all right, bro. So that's probably honestly why he fucking dropped that shit. Realistically, because I couldn't even find that to be because I would have put it in my affidavit because like I said, literally that shit was 48 pages. I spent like 2 or 3 days on that fucking affidavit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was ready to whip that shit out. I was ready to read that shit front to back if I needed to, and I got to notarize it. I know you said the notary necessarily didn't mean anything. Okay, all right, but I still was ready. Like I said, because I had the cases cited, the pages, everything. I was ready. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not hearing that." I was just after you got done talking with the previous lady. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna hear any of that. If you got something to say to him, cross-examine him, with the officer, okay, fine. If not, whatever." And I just got done saying to him, the officer, I was like, "Bro, he is just that fucking agent. I'm like, he don't have, what I'm saying, no jurisdiction over the actual state." I'm like, "Who is the state? Who is the claimant?" He's like, "Oh, contempt of court. Get him out of here. Get him out of here." I was like, "Man, fuck you, bro. You such a fucking hoe, bro. You such a hoe. Oh my god." But hey, whatever. That was my goddamn first time representing this state. So hey, and then on top of that, the Mason tried to low key kind of downplay me. He was like, "Yeah, the straw man theory." I'm like, "What do you mean the theory?" I'm like, "What?" Because we was going back and forth in a really intelligent conversation. I was like, "What do you mean theory?" I was like, "What?" Because he was dating back all the way to the Harvard Confederation, HJR 132, everything. I was like, "Bro, like, what do you mean theory?" I'm like, "It's not a theory." I'm like, "What the fuck you mean? They literally say this, and a lot of their statutes and codes." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Well, yeah." I was like, "Bro, it's all ambiguous. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know y'all trying to play certain part, so you can, win. You know what I'm saying?" He's like, "Yeah, that's true. I give you that." He's like, "But yeah, nah." I was like, "All right, bro. All right." Now you trying to play like I'm fucking stupid. He's like, "Yeah, but I'll just come to my office, just talk to me." So I'm like, "All right, you know what? Where the fuck, I guess I'll, even though I don't want to, I guess I'll learn from the enemy a little bit to a degree on top of reading my own shit. He's like, yeah, don't take nothing I say, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I'll give you this paper right here. I'll give you this whatever to read upon. I'll give you this statute. I'll give you this law, whatever. We talking about maritime law. We talking about a whole lot of shit. It was honestly kind of interesting that we even got to that point in the conversation. But, you know, that was my experience. So take that, I guess you all for crazy.
Sounds like you got a halfway beat. You got one of the charges dropped.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, that's why. But I ain't gonna lie, I don't really low key kind of count that though, because like low key kind of like it got dropped only because of the situation. If it was like any other situation, it probably would have stayed on there. You know what I'm saying? Just because, like I said, I didn't provide him ID and shit like that. Because I even asked, the officer, I was like, bro, they're stopping to identify. So he's like, well, I don't have to provide that. I was like, what? I was like, okay, first off, I don't even need to be talking to your dumb ass. No way, I didn't say that. But I was like, I don't even need to be talking to you anyway. So I'm like, even if I did, you know what I'm saying? You need to provide me the state and catch you if I ask you what the stature is. But I even asked him in the open court, I was like, what's the stature? He said, well, I didn't provide that. I'm like, what? Okay, bro. All right, bro. And then the judge went along with that shit. Of course he did. He's like, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and all right, bro. Cool. All right. Now, like I said, at that point, I just felt it was just like such a fucking uphill battle after I just tried all the shit. I just tried. I was like, you know what, bro? All right. I'm just going to peel this shit because obviously you motherfuckers is fucking retarded and you stupid and y'all just not going to let me hear and talk nothing of what I want to say or represent myself how I need to represent. Well, not me, but, the estate, etc. Whatever.
Yeah, they're not going to let you do it. But you kept submitting to them. You kept saying, can I do this? Can I do that?
Yeah, no, I agree. And from there, too, I was kind of like, you know what I'm saying, on top of after talking with Mason, I'm like, man, I just need to learn more. I just need to get more under my belt. Because once I do, I'm fucking y'all up. Oh, my God, bro. Just wait, bro. Wait till I get these books under this head top, under this brain. So I'm going to fuck y'all up. Oh, my God. I had so much fire. I was so mad. You don't understand how mad I was. My fist was literally so bald. I was down there low-key. Like, I'm not like no, you know what I'm saying, crazy motherfucker that's going to do no stupid shit. But I was low-key about to crash out. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, like, they had me so heated right now, bro. Like, oh, my God, bro. Like, oh. They had me so heated. They had me so heated, bro. I promise you. That was some of the crazy. Like I said, he even offered me to come back, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, just talk to me anytime you want to, you know what I'm saying? We can talk about stuff, talk about, statutes and stuff, laws, all the time. Just, come holler at me. Man, what the fuck is going on in my life right now, bro? What the hell is this? I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know what to do. What the fuck is this? It was a very interesting experience, to say the least. To say the least. But I do agree with you, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I do agree. I was submitting to their, their authority, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. But from a first time experience, I mean, I don't know how I rate that, but I mean, it's the first time experience.
You see how they act. I mean, when you're on to something, they don't want you to go further. They want to put a stop to you real quick.
Yeah. Because he didn't let me get a word, bro. Like when I say a word, nothing. He kept interrupting every time I even spoke after that first sentence.
That's when you should have looked at the judge and said, Your Honor, am I to understand that the honorable judge such and such is trying to interfere with my right to freedom of speech? Why you keep interrupting my speech?
Yep, that would have been the outstanding response. Hell yeah. On God, it would have been. But I was not prepared that far. That's just a reality situation. I was not up to par in terms of my performance. And that's just real. And I can say that out loud.
You could have also said, Your Honor, no offense, but my mother taught me growing up not to interrupt people.
Yeah. Absolutely true. Hell yeah, that's true.
See, when I was in court, the judge kept interrupting me, and I just kept interrupting him. We were just talking over each other, and it was a bad way to go. I'm still kicking myself over the last time I was in court because I wouldn't swear in, but I crossed the bar. I'm making objections. It was like it wasn't consistent, to say the least.
Right.
and I got held in contempt. I sat for 5 days until I purged the whatever it is, the purge they call it.
Right. Okay.
You definitely want to go in there with a straight head, a game plan, and what people say, try to stay in honor as best as you can.
Oh yeah, I
Whatever
definitely tried. I definitely, bro. I was in that mode, bro, until he got to the stand. Even when he got, fuck that, when he got on the stand, I was looking at my notes, bro. I was reciting them bitches, reading them hoes, from word to left to right, up, left, down, sideways, diagonal. I was, oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. Like I said, even when he got to be to the stand, I was talking. I was all right, like, hold on. Let the officer speak. He was like, then you can, talk to him. I was like, nope, I don't want to. I was like, I don't even talk to him. He's just a goddamn agent to the state. I need to the state. I need to the claimant. He said, keep playing, keep doing this. I'm holding you contempt of court. I was like, man, oh my fucking God, you dickhead ass motherfucker, man. And I just kept going with that shit. I'm like, nah, fuck that shit. I'm hold on with the fuck I'm playing. You know what? Contempt of court. Bow. Man, fuck. Oh, you know what? I don't even give a fuck. Throw him back in jail. All right, bro. I'll get out in another day or so. All right, bro. Whatever. I don't care. Go ahead, bro. At this point. Especially when I got back there and I was talking to the Mason nigga, I was like, yeah. You know what? Shit, jail, I might even get to jail. I might not even get there. I was like, go ahead, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro. If you're gonna do something, bro, go ahead and do that, motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie to you, fam. Go ahead and do it, bro. But like I said, he was actually more better than I expected he was going to be. So I probably still talk to him a little bit more and shit because he invited me. So I don't know, maybe. I just know I got to get more under my belt, though, most definitely, especially from what you were saying, especially from our conversation, too. He's like, yeah, you were a newbie. I was like, yes, I am a newbie. That is true. That is very true. I'm going to try, goddamn it. Listen. Because everybody else in there was literally damn near batshit afraid. They was goddamn sitting on their seats, ready. Yes, sir. I'm guilty. Yes, sir. I'll pay the fine. All right. I'm like, man, fuck that shit. You have to get that shit out of me. At least, bare minimum. Fuck that. And at least, even if then, I'm gonna give you this pouch of rice that you don't know is rice. And hopefully you take this. But he ain't take it.
Shoot, when I had that mud flap ticket and I beat it, the state trooper said, I cannot believe you fought that hard over $50. I said, sir, why am I going to give you money you don't have a right to?
No, for real. For real.
And I beat the case. I did.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, but I ain't mad at nothing like that, though, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm used to going with situations, especially these crazy, ridiculous-ass situations of this stature, of this dolo type shit, you know what I'm saying? Even with, a little counsel, yeah. But it's pretty much, you go in there literally like alone, more lone wolf. You don't know what the fuck is going to happen. You just figuring shit out. You just kind of winging it. I'm used to winging it.
Yeah. So. And honestly, winging it is one way of looking at it because, look, you have to wing it. Even if you're experienced at this, you're going to have to wing it because why? You're not a mind reader. You don't know what the judge is going to ask you, what the judge is going to say,
100%.
what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm. I agree, 100%. That was my main thing, too, whenever I was reading on my notes. I was like, I can read all this shit literally up, down, left, right all day. But I was like, he fucking around and ask me some shit that I don't fucking, prepare for or that's not in these notes. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be fucked. So I was just trying to get just a good overall general understanding of, just mostly, the principles of the situation.
And that comes with experience.
Mm-hmm.
That comes with a lot of reading and a lot of experience. Because you don't know what they're going to say. You cannot prepare for every possible question.
Yep. I hear you. 100%. That's real. That's the real. That's the truth. The truth that people need to hear. Absolutely. But hey, I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. That's definitely a story I can tell.
I can tell you had fun.
Fun is
and you were excited.
Oh my God, fun is a fucking. Oh my, I don't even know that's the word, the adjective to describe my experience. It was very, very, very interesting to say the least. Because like I said, at that point, halfway through, like I said, I didn't think I was gonna make it home for real. I was like, you know what, fuck it. All right, this is what's gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This is crazy. Hey. But then I fuck around, got a second chance. I was like, what the fuck is this? I got a second life? This Call of Duty? I was like, well, I'll try this again, I guess. But at that point, I was like, man, I already know I definitely got to get me a better foundation. I still left it up to God, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, hence why I still got, one of the Chargers drivers. It's like, man, I definitely understand. I guess that's kind of, what, the Most High, God was trying to, I guess, tell me. He's like, look,
Okay.
Guess he cut out.
Yeah, I guess they did.
I definitely don't doubt it.
There he is.
I stop now. But yeah.
So
I appreciate the information up till this point, though. That shit definitely helped. Play upon certain points because like I said, they don't want that shit out at all. They don't wait till everybody gone. All right, now what you want to say? All right, here. All right, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Even
yeah, well
then,
they don't
control
want it out there because it's not up to the individual to figure it out.
Yeah.
See, the courts wouldn't be able to do half of what they do if the people cared enough about their rights and actually cared to learn.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I agree. I 100% agree.
Everybody's mad at the government, but really it's the freaking people because the people don't care to learn.
Yep. Absolutely. They're lazy, arrogant, self-centered, etc. All the above, on down, diagonal.
It's like a never-ending course, though. That learning, that's like some never-ending learning right there.
Bam! What?
It is. It's a lifestyle. It is not a college class and it's over. It's a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Just take for instance that case I was asking about a week or two ago. Who was it? I think Bond versus the United States, the Pennsylvania case, and they were saying that the states can't enforce a treaty, and then that wasn't that long ago. Now it's kind of just irrelevant now because of whatever they did. The states were on the back end.
It's not irrelevant. What you don't recognize is what Boris talks about. You have a republic state. The republic state cannot enforce treaties, but the federal state can.
Right.
So what about like state, like the state of Pennsylvania? I thought that's what they meant by state. I know state has different definitions.
There's 3 different states.
So, because from what I understand is whatever state can enforce a treaty, that state went and did some type of international contract to avoid the treaty, and now they can enforce that law or whatever.
Now I'd have to see that because you got to remember the Buck Act was in the 1940s. The Buck Act created a federal overlay.
Right.
So you have a federal state, you have a republic state, and you have a corporate state. It's just like the United States. The corporate state can do an international contract.
Right.
Because Article 1, Section 10, the contract clause.
Right.
Just like you have 3 United States. You have you have the 50 States United, then you have DC and its insular possessions, and then you have the corporation.
Right.
And it's a trinity. I mean, they all do it at every level of government.
Right.
Now in codes,
That's what I was
right?
going to say. It'd be the venue. The venue was the wrong venue to enforce that.
No, I never tried to enforce it. I was just looking into it. I
Yeah.
found
Right.
out about that case
Yeah,
recently,
but
and I think
like district courts have
pre-COVID,
a
people.
certain.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, I was just saying. I came across that. Somebody had mentioned that case in like a live video I was going back over, and it's like at the very end they were talking about pre-COVID. I think it was particularly with CPS, people were getting their kids back, citing that Bond versus United States case where the state can't enforce treaties or whatever. But since then, they went ahead and did whatever they did on the back end with a contract to kind of circumvent that. And that's what a lot of these agencies are doing. They're signing up in cooperative agreements and things like that to try and
That's
circumvent.
under the corporate side.
Right, right.
That's under admiralty jurisdiction. They can do that.
That's what I was just about to ask you though. With if you go into certain codes and like the United States Code or the Code of Federal Regulations, and you go into each title will have a definition section, right? And sometimes the United States and different codes they'll have those different definitions, whether it's the 50 states, DC and its territories, or sometimes it'll just be DC and its territories. I don't think I've personally recognized the corporate United States as defined in these codes.
Yes, 28 USC 3002 paragraph 15A.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying I don't think I actually noticed upon my research. That's all. And what was that? 28 USC
3002.
3002.
I put up a video on YouTube about it because a lot of people misapply it.
Okay, I'm gonna check for it.
That was the first goddamn shit that popped up.
Yeah, I put a. See, a lot of people they try to apply the corporate to everything, and the corporate isn't in everything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When the United States is acting as a debt collector, then yes, it is acting as a corporation.
Right. That's facts.
But the United States isn't always acting as a debt collector, is it?
Got some different hats that they as well as which we should be putting on as well too, right?
But the
Exactly.
police are always acting as debt collectors.
I'm not sure.
The police are basically hired guns for the municipality. They are there to guard the businesses.
They were doing road flag duty earlier. I was in New Jersey driving through Cherry Hill, and usually you'll see flag force. They'll do the one side will have the stop sign, other side will have the slow sign. There'll be a work area in the middle. Today it was the police. I thought it was a car accident or something. They were doing road safety for a construction site.
Damn. You should drive too?
No, I drive, but not like commercially. I do HVAC, so I drive from wherever the work's at.
Well,
right.
My dad does plumbing, and he still uses private plates.
Shit, I don't blame him. For real. Damn. You think it's what do you feel about the 4-star passport / 5-star passport identification card instead of the ID card in terms of using traveling versus driving?
I think it's up. I think it's up to the person. I mean, but you have no evidence of what the quote unquote stars are. They're asterisks. What do they mean? Nobody knows. It's all a guess. I don't like
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah, true. Ambiguous nature. That's especially whenever I was watching that video where when you was talking with Popeye too. Is it's all too much ambiguous because we don't all really know what the original fucking law makers or whoever passed those fucking
Well,
um
it has to be ambiguous. It can't be anything else because why? You didn't write the law, so you don't know what it means. You have to talk to the actual person that wrote it. Well, how do you do that? Well, for the federal, you go read the congressional record. That gives you their intent to the best of your ability.
is that on archive.gov as well too?
Archive.gov is a good place. I mean, you can get law books on there written by attorneys. But when it comes to understanding what is said, it doesn't matter what language it is. If you didn't write it, you don't 100% know it.
Hearsay.
Okay? Only the author that wrote the book can tell you exactly what it means. You can make a presumption of what it means based on your intellect, but do you 100% know? No, you don't.
That's facts. That's true. It's very true. God damn, this some bullshit, bro. Oh my God,
It's not.
bro.
It's not. It's not, but that's why it's not BS. It's really not. It's people don't know how to do things. I mean, when the judge
Yeah,
is
yeah,
asking
yeah,
you
yeah.
questions, ask him to define the words. And if he doesn't want to define them, it says, "Well, Your Honor, I have a right to understand the nature and cause of this action. I'm just asking for you to define it because I am not a mind reader and I don't know what's in your head."
That is facts. That is facts.
Very good point.
He's snapping. He's snapping.
I mean, it's all contracts. It 100% is all contracts.
Uh-huh. Yes, sir.
The biggest form of contracts out there is verbal contracts.
Yep.
When you're talking to an officer, talking to a judge, talking to each other, it's all contracts.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I guess that's just the irritating part of this, you know what I'm saying? I guess like somebody playing the game and then fucking playing the game like how it's supposed to be played, and then someone playing the game with cheat codes. Like, man, fuck you, bitch! Give me cheat
Yeah,
codes! Give me
that's
cheat
kind of the way it is. They got the cheat codes and you don't realize it.
codes! For real. They do up, down, left, right. It started the game with a meal. You starting with nothing. He's like, fuck, man. Get a little something. Get something. Damn, something. Nah. They definitely take advantage though every time. Cause I even just off
Well,
the people that was in there too, I was like, bro, they making at least like over 50 grand plus.
they probably are. That's no joke. But you got to remember, he that is deceived, let him.
Yeah,
It's a
that is
maxim of
true.
law. Come right out of the Bible.
Yeah. Even 15 USC 1601 says and it states that if you don't have this is all and off the top of my head, but pretty much if you don't know what the rights is and you don't know what you're supposed to act upon, then let you be in that capacity of being fucked, and then whoever knows most, they will get the better benefit.
Yeah. And that's why the people run around mad at government because they don't want to hear that.
Yep, that's true. It's a hard pill to swallow. It is. I can swallow it though. I'm real. I'm real myself. I'm definitely real myself. I know I gotta get better. A lot of us do too as well. But it's a lot though. It is a lot. I ain't gonna lie. Just like bro said earlier, it's fucking a never-ending learning cycle. Oh my god. Oh
Man,
my god.
I've been doing it 12 years. And I thought I finished when I got out of high school.
Yeah,
Go.
right. If you don't go to fucking college, which to me, my personal opinion, that's just a waste of time. But that's another conversation. Whatever. Even after
I
that,
think
it's like, bro, there's even fucking attorneys that don't know shit. That's like the real part that blew me. It was one day, because I called the VA over some stuff because they was doing some stupid shit. And I literally called from the highest point. I tried to call the fucking the White House and they didn't answer. All the way down to like the highest chairman of the VA, down to the state governor of Georgia, who was was Governor Kemp at the time, all the way down to the city council member. No one knew nothing what the fuck I was talking about. Besides the city council member that was in my state. It was one out of like 7 or 8. It was the only person who knew anything I was speaking of in terms of the law. He's like, yeah, because I actually read, so I understand what you're talking about. I was like, this is fucking insane. That's when I really knew and understood the magnitude of how low-key kind of fucked as we are as a whole in America, because no one don't know nothing. People are in very, very, very high positions that don't know shit. Especially whenever I was operating, because I used to be on planes as a plane mechanic. There would be people that don't even read their own fucking textbook manuals on how to work. They would just kind of wing it. So even from that standpoint, I already kind of knew that people didn't really overstand what the fuck they were doing to try to make sure they wasn't in a capacity where they weren't having liability for themselves, but especially from that personal experience of in the civilian world when people were doing that in their high position, a political position, they don't even know what the fuck they really doing. To be completely honest, and I was
now,
really astounded upon that.
and now think about it for a second. Okay, I want you to really think about it. You got people that are genuinely sincere people, okay, and they are tired of what they see as a wrong in the government. And what do? They run for office. They don't even know this stuff half the
Yeah,
time.
absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my God.
Even when they're in there for years, I don't think they
No,
really understand
That's worse.
what's going on.
That
Because
is
no. Well,
worse.
sometimes. I will say that sometimes. But
I'll
the
give you
longer
this,
they've been in there, the more they probably do know.
but I'll tell you why I think that. And it comes off of most people's criticism of how much value these politicians are worth going into office versus how much they're worth a few
Coming
years and
out?
even
Yeah.
coming out. And if these politicians did know about this stuff, I'm pretty sure they would know how to, cloak it, if you will, hide it better. Not even hiding it, but just legally uh, placing it where it wouldn't really be traceable,
Nah, I feel
Look at
you.
Well, you can't trace it. You can't hide it to where it can't be traced. Because why? Remember, securities, there is
right,
this thing called CUSIPs.
right.
Mm-hmm.
You keep seeing the news about Biden, whatever he's doing with these other countries. They're saying he had multiple LLCs where he was funneling all these payments that were coming in from other countries and stuff like that. I don't know if it's true or not. I just happened to catch what do you call it? I don't even watch the news or read the newspaper anymore to know what it's called. A headline. Just happened to catch like a headline about that stuff.
I don't trust shit Biden do. I know personally one of his his victims, and yeah, I don't trust shit that Biden do. The fact that he's even president right now goes to show how much control those motherfuckers got for real. Cause he be on some crazy shit. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't even know like Democratic Republican thing, because both of them motherfuckers is corrupt realistically. But just him as a person, if that's even him, yeah. The shit that they be passing and try to do, bro, it'd be so fucking astounding. It'd be blowing my mind. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all not saying anything? Why y'all not impeach him? What is wrong? What's going on, bro? What's really happening? If you were just ambiguous, they just, oh, whatever. Yeah, I understand. The government's corrupt, whatever. whatever.
Not
What do you mean?
The government itself is not corrupt. The individual might be, but the government isn't. The
I
government
can see that.
itself is neutral.
I can see that. 100%.
does it depend on what hat they're wearing? If they're corrupt
No,
or
it
not?
doesn't.
I think you're saying who
No,
is ever in position
no.
necessarily.
The hat doesn't make them corrupt.
Okay.
The individual themselves is
Yeah.
what
Right.
makes them corrupt.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I hear you. Yeah. I agree with that. Because the principles in place are already have, and even in Congress, especially with all the shit they passed in the UCC and USC and uniform commercial code and whatnot, they have it in our favor. It's just that we're not performing as overall people, and that's happening. Then they're just taking advantage of it. And to a degree, I really fault them a little bit. It's like, man, I get it. It's like, man, fuck, like really though, for real. Well, it's a hustle, so I can, you know what I'm saying. As a hustler, I can respect the hustle. They be hustling us pretty much.
Yeah, that is actually it. I can agree with that. It is a hustle game.
I don't know. I think there's probably conglomerates, if you will, also that definitely have agendas. Because even a few years, well, more than a few years ago, I was still fairly young, but it's like leading up to like the Katrina era in New Orleans. I remember seeing different. I don't know if they were interviews or if it was a documentary I was watching, but there was like some judge down there, and he wasn't like in line with whatever was going on down there, and they were like whoever was against him, they were just coming at him. They were getting him in trouble. He was getting fined money. He couldn't fund his campaign, and they eventually got him out of his seat, and they got whoever they wanted in there. So it's definitely not a fair, open process with taking offices or becoming a judge and stuff like that. And this is years ago, just well before I even knew about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
I agree, brother. I figured that shit since whenever they did whenever I watched the documentary on fucking Kennedy and how he got in office, when the fucking mafia fucking pretty much invalidated all the votes and fucking strategically put all that shit to where they made Kennedy win based off of the prohibition and then him funding that through the mafia. From then on, that's when I knew all this shit was bullshit. From then on, I was like, yeah, I was like, bro, if they even openly admitted that one time, who can even imagine how many other elections that they fucking tamper with and did other bullshit with? You know
I
what I'm
know.
saying?
Man, people
Like,
that
what?
say that they don't rig it, yeah, they're naive.
Oblivious.
I mean,
absolutely.
And it
there was a
doesn't take much.
freaking almost a war in Tennessee many decades ago. The citizenry in Tennessee rose up against the government with arms over the election.
Really?
Yes, I saw a video on it the other day on YouTube. The people in the town rose up and they had boxed the sheriff and I think it was the county executive, the mayor, and stuff in a freaking building, and basically they forced them to turn the ballot boxes over because there was election rigging. I mean,
Yep.
and that video that looked like that might have been in the 1940s or 50s by the cars and stuff that was in it.
Damn. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. and I can speak for my generation too, because what is it, Gen Z now? Is that what we is? Right, I think. Because I'm only 22, and I can definitely say for all of my other constituents, they are not on this shit at all. At the least bit, they don't give no fuck about law. They don't. I don't even think they even know what law is for real. I'm not even gonna lie to you. All they know is fucking TikTok, dance, and fucking somehow, some way, go to college and do some other dumb shit that don't fucking matter and really genuinely contribute to society any fucking way. It's really, really, really sad. And I can see kind of low key to a degree of like the fall of how important of the actual things that actually matter in society that fucking push through economics and push through things as us as the overall people versus what's kind of going on now and how shit's so fucking divided and how they got it so constructively set of the systemic bullshit that they try to push upon people to where they can fucking strip of us of our rights and then take us for our fucking financial gain, even though that's just not financial gain anyway. That's federal.
Well, they're not stripping you of your rights. They can never take your rights. You have to actually physically waive them, and people waive them all the time.
That's true. I'll take it back. That's true. 100%.
Contract right out of them.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. I did it today.
those unalienable rights, they can't take them. Those are given by God. The only way you can give them up is if you give them up.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. 100%. I definitely agree with you. But like I said, they even go to shit like, I ain't gonna lie. People in my generation, they don't even read. They honestly don't even read the Bible. Honestly. They don't even
people
know.
don't read.
They don't. It's so scary. They don't read anything. They don't read the terms and conditions or whatever they sign on to an app, let alone a fucking actual book that's not in school that's required for them to read. Even then, they don't read it. Like, bro, like, oh my God. Like, seeing people in my generation honestly makes me so sick to my stomach. It's so disgusting. It's so stupid. Oh my God. The idiocracy is so appalling. It's ridiculous.
Well, you being 22, keep reading, keep at it, man. You'll be all right, man.
Yeah, I'll be all right, but I'm more of a humanitarian standpoint. I'm trying to get everybody right. You know what I'm saying? It's like
You can't.
yeah, that's true. That's true. It's like, bro,
how are you going to feed the masses if you can't feed yourself?
100%. You snapping.
And some of the masses, they don't want it. They want to be fed. You got one foot in front of the other, man. Today, it was a good day. It was a learning experience. Keep doing what you were doing before today. You're reading. You said you had 48 pages you wrote. Keep going over it. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I appreciate that. And Pastor too, especially wherever he gave too as well, because he was pretty much would give me that extra arm whenever I walked in there too. Anyways, that's gave me that extra. Like, oh yeah, I'm ready for their ass now. Oh yeah. It did not work like that. It's good though. It's all good. To the next fight. Just one battle. To the war. Hopefully we don't go to war soon though. I ain't gonna lie, because I got people in the military now too. And if I was still in, because by the time I got out last December. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Just for my personal inside info, because all my friends were fucking deployed from all the way in Taiwan, somewhere in the UK, and some of those states that's surrounding as well too. That's around the Middle East and around Ukraine and whatnot. A lot of them were deployed, and a lot of them still are deployed right now. And the way that shit kind of going right now, I think they're honestly really pushing that shit. It's something probably finna shake at some point soon here. For real. I'm not gonna lie. Because they even still over there and they even telling me like, yeah, bro, I don't know. Yeah. I'm like, fuck, bro. They all like, 22, 23, 20, shit like that. I'm like, bro, this is fucking ridiculous, fam. Like, I don't even know what to think of it for real. Especially me knowing these people personally. Korea too, especially. Them fucking throwing them fucking ballistic missiles and shit over there and all type of shit. I'm like, man, I don't know. I mean, it's equity. They'll make more money with it. So, I mean, it makes sense of why they would.
It's sad to say, but the reality is we have to learn to live separate than the heathens. And like 95% heathens. And I'm included, actually. I'm still a heathen.
I feel you 100%, brother.
Check this out, though. And I thought I hit this up the other night. Maybe. I don't know. It might have been another chat. But this is Galatians 4. Okay? Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, different nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all, but is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father. Even so we, when we were children, were in bondage, under the elements of the world. So it goes on and on. That's one of the
Great verse.
main chapters in the Bible people need to read. But you got two covenants. You got two covenants with God. And it's like ever since the beginning, they came down off Mount Sinai. They made a bargain with men to give up their wives, because that was the only way that the elder sons of God could usurp the dominion that God gave us. And
Right.
they've devised a scheme to cloud your mind, to keep you as a debtor, to keep you as in bondage. You're in bondage of the servant woman. All you have to do is make a choice. But it's more than that, because it's not just a choice. It's unlearning and uncorrupting yourself from, well, in my case, 40-something years of and debauchery and sin and the wrong way of thinking, learning how to be a slave.
Yep. Amen, brother. Amen.
That's all. That's what I got to say about it. But I had to jump in with that. I'm glad to be on.
I'm glad you did, because I was thinking about how to bring it up to the young brother, because I'm conscientious of bringing it up, like the Bible and stuff like that. And I hear you read, and I was going to ask, like, how often are you reading your Bible, and how often are you? Because when I started reading the Bible, like faithfully, like every day, looking for stuff, I found like a great peace and just comfort in it, right? And it helped me to let go of certain foundations or principles that had worked for me for a long time in life, but they weren't no longer working or serving a purpose. And I found new, stronger principles that like are leading me on a new, stronger path. So that's one thing I could recommend to you. Being 22, if I would have started reading it back then, or at least kept with it, because there was times I would read it, but I never really kept with it. You might not find the exact remedy you're looking for in these groups, but you'll find strength, peace, and your faith will grow reading that Bible. I don't know what it is, but there's something about that Bible. There's nothing like it.
Nah, I agree, brother, because it's even crazy, too, because, like, you know what I'm saying, before I even got on this journey, you know what I'm saying, not too long ago, last year, second half of last year, you know, I was one of the most, you know, I always be spiritual, but I was never one to be like, man, fuck the Bible, that shit man written, blah, 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 blah. But then, like, learning all of this stuff and going on, I'm like, bro, you know, especially they was always say, you know, don't have the church and state mixed with each other, blah, blah. And this, the more reading, it's like, the motherfuckers been mixed this whole time. It's like, what the fuck? So it's like, bro, the shit that I've hated like the most in life. And I'm like, bro, I'll never read that shit, man. Fuck that shit. That man, it's like you have to learn that shit damn near to a T. Even because I was even an advocate on the principles. I was like, you know, someone who even lives off the principles of the Bible, you know, it's still good. You know, it's good principles in it, but you know, I just don't know about the actual literature. Just learning that, you know, learning the literature as well, that is the foundation of the law. That's the foundation of what it is that we're supposed to live by, supposed to receive, to be able to assert ourselves and our rights and our unalienable rights, to be able to do these things that we want to do. And it just kind of blew my fucking mind coming back to this full circle, you know, because I even, you know, born up Christian myself, you know what I'm saying? And then kind of like diverted from it, just, you know, from, you know, life experience and et cetera, or whatever else. It's just kind of ironic, just coming back to it full circle of like, well, you know, damn, now it's like learning that foundation of really, really applying this, but from a standpoint of, you know, where you need to and getting those principles down to where it can be that foundation upon everything else you read, and then just building upon that to build that house or build that whatever you're trying to build. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely necessary. And to me personally, you know, just for me coming to that realization, to me, you know, it's absolutely astounding, and I'm very appreciative of it. You know what I'm saying? Coming back, you know what I'm saying? I always about God, you know, whatnot, but just coming about it that way, that's that's crazy. Especially how they got it, you know, so filled out right there for you.
Well, guys, they had to listen. They have to put it out there for you. So everyone's got to lose their misconceptions and all their upbringing where, oh, it's all about the kingdom of heaven and eternal life after you die. No. It's about a trust indenture. It's about the keys to the kingdom here on earth. And it'll tell you the ecclesiastical law and what you need to know to live as a steward and benefit of your neighbor. We love our neighbors. And so it's, you know, there's the Bible and Christianity and all of it. It's created by man. But what is in there is God's path for us, because Christ paid our debts.
Yes, sir.
And so we have to learn to live in the path that Christ came to teach us as stewards on this earth, to redeem that position. And you can have kingdom on this earth. You can be a creditor. And you don't need to be a secure party creditor with a UCC1 and all this shit. Like, you have millions and millions of dollars that are available to you, but only for the benefit of another. So you might be able to live a good life, but you better be intending to serve humanity. It's the only way you can get that. And people go in and get their minor estates. And it's not about law. It's about scripture. Because ecclesiastical law trumps all law. And when you get in chambers and probate with a judge, it's you, God, and the judge, and equity. Okay, so we do need to learn law. However, we need to learn how it pertains to the scriptures. If you want to go redeem and be a steward, okay? Like, I know people that have done this, right? I can't do it because I'm a heathen, right? I'm still a heathen. And it sucks. But I know it. And so I read the Bible as a trust indenture. I try to read it as it is God laying out who gets what and why, and the principles that Jesus laid out. And I kind of read it front to back daily. Like, I started at the beginning. I'm like in Numbers or something right now, and then sometimes I'll jump around because I'll see cool, like, people relate law to scripture in certain ways, and especially as of late, Galatians 4 and Thessalonians 4 is all about the debtor creditor, good and evil. Okay.
Ain't numbers built in the tabernacle?
I mean, it's really all about that.
Nah, you're right, brother. The only thing for me personally is just real fucking hard, bro, because it's like 15 fucking versions of the Bible, bro. They've been fucking taking in and out with fucking King James and the Christian Protestant shit. It's just like, that's the only thing been for me, especially whenever I grew up Christian. It was like, bro, it's so many fucking different versions of the Bible and so many different people trying to like assert their fucking way of life with it. Is like, it's kind of fucking hard to like really distinguish upon which is the true real one that we're supposed to really abide by, all the way back to the original, which I don't really know which, like, the original.
They all give you good, principles.
But like I said, they all do give good principles.
Principles, right?
I'm just an advocate of truth, like whenever I would read shit, if I feel like someone tampered with some shit to try to get their agenda or their objective or whatever their fucking way of life was in that sense, it kind of invalidates the whole experience for me to really even, validate what the fuck they're saying. I kind of already like low-key in my mind kind of like break that shit away. I'm like, man, I don't even want to read that shit because I already know where you kind of coming from your standpoint, where you're lying. It's like for me, I just want to know what is the best one to get that foundation from to be able to expound upon that, to be able to be like, okay, this is the one that I know for sure. Like, okay, no one had no ill will, no BS, no, intent upon, fouling their other fellow man, their fellow thy neighbor, etc. To be able to just like, this is what the scripture is, this is what the word of God is from what I got told from God, and this is what I'm trying to tell you here, right? Not all the other stuff that, had came from centuries and centuries and centuries up until now, ago. You know what I mean?
Well, but that's explaining the trust indentures through time. And so, well, let me say this. I think the problem has been that, like, the most I learn as it relates to law and scripture is from other people, right? Like when we're conversating, right? So what's a church? A church is where two or more come in the name of God together. That's a church. And should we have been going to these buildings all these years, bowing down to some idol? Or should we have been conversating about what the scripture means as it pertains to our law, as it pertains to our way of life, as it pertains to the way it affects our future, our past, our present? No. See, they fucked it all up. And it isn't anything. God's word is his word. And so the word, I mean, I would say 1611 King James, and every translation is going to be pretty much accurate. But it's what they've done to our minds and the church, and how they've created this false paradigm. We all think of the church as the place down there on the corner. No. It's where two or more of us come in the name of God to conversate and pray and worship. And what does that mean? It means what we're doing right here. Right? This is church, as it ever meant. Like, and it's true meaning. Right now, because we're talking about scripture, we're actually churching it up. You might as well look at it like that. But I believe that iron sharpens iron, and even though the Bible was put together by man, it was still, no one can doubt that there's a spirit world that affects our reality. And to not have faith in God would mean, you would figure they fucked it all up and it's all just the devil's works. But I don't believe God would have let that happen to his word. The laws that been laid out. Yeah. I yield.
Well, I agree with what you're saying. I also disagree with what you're saying. If it is a trust indenture, that's only one aspect of it. It's much more than that. The Bible does not mention the word Christian in it whatsoever. It says to be of good faith. It says to be of good faith. It doesn't mention any religion. But yeah, it's a law book. It's a banking book. But I mean, it's a gospel.
Well, I was just saying we need to lose the whole Christian when we approach the Bible. I don't approach it from a Christian perspective. I don't even know what the fuck that is. You're exactly right. I don't know. Christian was created by
Christ-like.
me after Christ. He would probably be rolling in his grave when he learned what people did to his name, actually.
Right.
I feel you, brothers. Y'all definitely right. It's
How
time
you gonna roll in his grave? He rose up after 3 days, brother.
Yep.
Just
No, I
fucking-
agree. I agree. There's
I know
symmetry
what you're saying, though, brother.
all through the Bible. There's symmetry. There's double meanings. Thou shalt not kill, but you got
That's
you
what I
got
said
God.
earlier.
You
The
got
T
God
plus
commanding
3,
them.
you know.
You got God commanding people to go kill towns, cities. You know what I mean? So
Joshua's a fucking beast, dude. He rolled through the whole everybody, 13 kings, everybody, women, children. He killed
Those
everybody.
were not of God. When you hear God instructing Aaron and his priests to go wipe out all the people, it's because they'd been genetically corrupted. Okay? Outside of God's creation. You have to understand we're not the supreme being here. Not even I'm not even sure we're the top of the food chain on earth, to tell you the truth.
yeah.
So you gotta realize there's a difference. Okay, God created man. Okay. So you got one entity, you got man. And then he breathed into Adam's nostrils to create a living being. You got two different entities there.
Right.
You need to realize that. That's what we're talking about. You got, you come before God, and there you go. You got to trust. There's three of you. And that's what it's. You really got to start looking at it like that, because we were given total dominion over the land, air, and the water, and all that therein. Okay, the living beings, the sons of Adam, the sons of Seth. Okay, but there were two offsprings in the biblical history in Adam and Eve. You had Cain and Abel, and Cain killed Abel because those were twins of two different fathers. One of Adam and one of the serpent. Okay, and you had Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel. Well, they also had Seth, so the bloodline lived on. But the elder race, the fallen angels that went against God, which I'm going to say the elder race, came down and made a deal with the sons of Cain to take the wives and create the Nephilim. And back then, and up until now, we've had kings that have ruled the earth through a bloodline covenant.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think
Fallen angels of God. Okay? And so now you've got, and that's kind of the whole deal. We've been usurped. Our dominion has been usurped by bankers, czarine Jews, whatever you want to call it, all through time.
yes, sir.
The sons of Cain, the 13 bloodlines that have ruled this earth. Okay, so, I mean, that's the way I understand it anyway. And I'm going to keep going just because I'm rolling. But
I believe
It's
that's by divine plan to lead us back to God, because if everything was so fucking, PT keen, we just go on being heathen. So we need something to, we need the shepherds to lead us back to the flock, back to, God.
well, you know what's interesting? Well, look at it this way. I kind of look at it. So before Christ, you had to go to the king to find out what the book said. If you wanted to know what it said in the book, you had to go find out from one of the nobles, and they went out and they found out from the king, because you weren't even allowed to read books. Okay, and that was the age before Christ, before Pisces, and then you had the age of Pisces, and people learned how to read. Okay, and now we're here at the end of that 2,000 years, and the veil's going to drop in the next level of information. Okay, and it already did. It already did about 20 years ago. It was called the internet. And it's why we have the corpus juris secundum at our fingertips. It's why we have statutes at large at our fingertips. It's why we have U.S. code at our fingertips. When you think about this, in fact, my stepdad's an attorney. He doesn't even know what the fucking corpus juris secundum is. So, because 20 years ago, they had to go to the law library just like when we were in prison. I've been there. Okay. So it's like, think about the advancement and the speed and knowledge that happened here. It's really a beautiful, godly thing.
Yeah.
We all see the media, we think
That's
shit's
also
falling
saying
apart.
forgive.
But when you really think about the beautiful way that things are playing out, God wins this war. And so we're just kind of bystanders checking it out. But they're, in the meantime, we're all right on. I mean, I don't think that there's another percentage of the population that could be in tune with God than the people on this fucking chat right now and in these chats. And I yield.
Yeah, you got to, because if not, you don't learn the fucking maxims and learn the fucking actual principles in the damn Bible. You're not going to learn law. You're not going to learn shit. You're not going to have no foundation to expound upon, especially when you go in front of these fucking judges in these courtrooms. You're not going to stand a fucking chance at all in hell, which I think was out there, personally.
And that's what they say. The probate judges are ecclesiastical. They're the top of the top. You don't become a probate judge unless you're at the top of your game. And that means that they're total ecclesiastical, and you're not going in to be judged. If you go into probate and you do all the things to get your minor estate, you got to get all your superior titles. You got to take dominion over the land, air, and the water. And there's ways you got to do it, but you can go in there and you can rapture. The Treasury calls it rapture. I posted it the other day on the chat. They call it rapture.
I feel you, brother. 100%.
But it ain't going to happen as a heathen. I can promise you. We can't be heathen.
Yeah, I feel you. And it's hard having that fucking realization. It's like, damn, I'm a heathen. So like, at least I'm trying to get better.
Start dreaming, man. Stop turning the news on. Don't wake up in gratitude. That's the key. You wake up in gratitude and you focus on your goal. Whatever it is, be grateful for the things you have to accomplish that goal at all times. You will create your own reality, and that's how this works. And the only thing that keeps us from that is fear and doubt and self-esteem and all this shit that we've been brainwashed with. I mean, you almost got to shut yourself off from all of it, man, and put your head in the Word and put your head in some good knowledge, and before you know it, You look up and it'd be a whole different world for you. How are you?
I say look at the two thieves on the cross with Christ. You know, which one are you going to be? You going to be redeemed, or are you just going to turn away?
Amen.
Have y'all ever seen that dude? There's a dude on YouTube. I forget his name. You just reminded me of him because he says you have a choice, you know, and he uses the cross like that in symbolism. But I forget his name, Jonathan something, and he points out all the insect like architecture and demon architecture in the Vatican. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
architecture stuff.
that dude's onto something, man. I mean,
Is he talking about like the Fibonacci sequence, like how pine cones were created and how spider webs are created and how everything in nature goes after the Fibonacci sequence?
no. It's all like insect beings, and in some cases harvesting dead sheep or inverted dead sheep in symbolism of us, because they view us as dead sheep. I mean, it's like unquestionable. You can't deny, like, it's there. Man, I wish I could think of Jonathan Speck or something. I haven't seen his stuff in a long time. It's crazy. Like, there's even statues of like them fondling kids and stuff. Like, there's a book out there called The New Controversy, and it was banned in this country until like 2015 because the Vatican, people need to understand this. The Vatican has lost all power. They're done. They used to own the world. They're done.
Yeah.
And it even
is going to get some.
There's a publication out of UCLA. It's the repeal of the I forget what the doctrine is. The doctrine of indigenous, where they were able to take over indigenous people and shit. Well, it's been repealed, and it was what gave all the British Empire their power to colonize the earth and all the shit that's happened throughout time that shouldn't have, right? All the genocide and murder through colonialism and imperialism and all that stuff. But that was all Vatican directed. And the Pope has always owned everything. But that ended in like 2015. And it's in a UCLA publication. And I say that because there are things that have changed, and people are navigating their way through this sphere, and they talk to people that are 60 and been doing the UCC1 deal for 30 years and blah, blah, blah. That used to be required. And I'm saying that it's not anymore. And we can all claim our estates back because the Pope doesn't own them anymore. In fact, if people remember, back in September, I think, it was in the news that Switzerland directed the Vatican that they had to have all their assets back into the Vatican Bank by the end of the month. And that was 30 days. And we're talking about 60% of the world. And so I'm going to tell you that didn't happen. Okay. They didn't get those assets back into the bank.
Yeah, I heard there's not really that much gold reserves either for them to even transfer back.
Well, yeah, they all got taken out by our military, is what I heard, and flown back here to the United States. And so, and I mean, I don't know. That's all. Some people might call it hopium and shit. I don't know. I don't think we need to worry about it. I think we just need to have faith in God, stay positive, and not worry about all the negative shit. And one dude was talking earlier, it made me think of this. 60% aren't coming along on this path. And that's just reality. And that might be our family. That might be our friends. That might be some of the people closest to us. And the reality is they're not coming along for the ride. Because timelines are about to split, in my belief.
I ain't
And
gonna lie, brother. I think it's more than 60%. I ain't gonna cap.
Closer to 80, probably.
Yeah, facts.
Closer to 80.
It might be more than that, fam. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know.
Well, what we're talking about is those who have faith in the Redeemer and those who don't is what that prophecy is. But, I mean, I think there's a lot of stupid people out there that have faith in Christ. And it's
Remember the
not their
story of
fault.
Sodom and Gomorrah?
Yeah, right. I know.
Couldn't even find God.
Hell, I beg to differ because shit. Even I feel like those same people who would quote unquote have that belief, they won't even leave it up to Christ up to that point because you know what I'm saying, they're too scared of, you know, they fucking mortgage not getting hit or their car payments or, you know, their kid, whatever the fuck they may have fear of. I think fear is just like one of the number one superseding things that is really, really like the new plague of America right now, or just really honestly over the world, completely honestly. And lack of belief.